Especially in Silicon Valley, telling a good story is so important to recruiting employees, finding investors, and also customers as well too.
대형 유통사 같은 경우에 사실 초기에 좋은 성과를 내지 못하면 그런 경우에 사실 몇 년간 재입점이 불가능합니다.
They try to bring the same assumptions when they pitch to Silicon Valley investors or customers or things. One really needs to be very careful. Sometimes it's better just unlearn it.
Hi, I'm Tae Nam. I'm a co-founder of Storm Ventures, and we've been investing here in Korea for over 20 years now.
안녕하세요. 저는 스탠포드 공대 내 혁신 디자인 센터, 영어로는 사이더라고 하고요. 이걸 운영하고 있는 김소형 센터장입니다.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mustafiz Choudhury. I go by Mustafiz, and I have extensive experience in various areas of technology that started out in semiconductors and branched out into various other applications, right? Especially in the various startups that I did.
We've had quite a lot of success with young European founders. An example is TalkDesk. The TalkDesk founder is from Portugal, and he started the company when he was 24 years old. It's a call center and the cloud company. And so what I would say that they've done, he did very well, is come out with a very simple to use product that appealed to US B2B customers. As I said, he could, with his product, you could have a call center up and running in 5 minutes. Another company from Europe that followed a similar go-to-market strategy that did very well for us is a company called Pipedrive. It's an Estonian company, and it was a very easy to use CRM. So compared to HubSpot or compared to Salesforce, it was something that was just very easy to use. And so people just started liking the product and using it in the United States. So in both cases, they exemplify product-led growth motion, and I think that could be a very successful strategy for Korean founders in the US as well.
가장 큰 공통점은 이제 제품보다 소비자 우선으로 이해를 한다는 점이고요. 미국에서 성공하는 브랜드들은 자신이 만들고 싶은 제품보다 소비자가 어떠한 문제를 가지고 있고 어떠한 니즈가 있는지 그리고 어떠한 라이프스타일을 원하는지를 먼저 고민합니다. 그리고 또 한 가지는 빠르게 배우고 피보팅하는 능력인데요. 미국 소비자들의 피드백을 적극적으로 빠르게 반영하면서 브랜딩과 제품 개발을 빠르게 하는 것들이 이제 좋은 성과와 이어지고 있습니다. 그리고 미국 소비자는 제품을 사는 게 아니라 자신들의 라이프스타일과 그리고 루틴에 자연스럽게 들어오는 그런 브랜드를 결국은 선택한다고 생각하거든요. 그래서 소비자들의 이러한 일상의 마음속에 자리 잡는 브랜드가 오래 살아남는다고 생각합니다.
By the definition of deep tech, that the founders need to have a very solid technology background, which often means engineering, physics, math, and science, right? So those have to be at the core of all successful startup companies. One key trait, one very important trait of good entrepreneur who can raise funds easily is the ability to explain complex stuff in a simple manner. In a very simple, to somebody who has no idea about the technology, but they'll feel at ease. Oh, I want to know more. And also with people who already know the technology, to be able to get into a deep dive with them. The other things are being able to connect the dots. If you see some adjacent technology somebody's talking about, how you can relate to that, that can be very, very powerful. People really get impressed by that.
The first is to ignore storytelling. I think the Korean cultural value de-emphasizes selling. But in the United States, especially in Silicon Valley, telling a good story is so important to recruiting employees, finding investors, and also customers as well too, that they want to be part of a great story. So I think storytelling is something that's very important and many times is ignored by Korean founders. And now with AI, it's very easy to do. The other is that we see is that Korean founders, if they scale the US go-to-market too early, there's a difference between the CEO or a founder traveling to the United States to try to build go-to-market. But what we've seen is, in particular, if the co-founder who's not the CEO moves to the United States and lives there, is that then they start aggressively building out the go-to-market team, hiring employees, and so then you end up spending a lot of money before you have results.
가장 중요한 거는 역시 이제 현지 소비자들을 이해하려는 그런 자세고요. 그래서 정답을 가진 그런 플레이북을 가지고 미국에 오는 게 아니라 좀 오픈 마인드로 미국 소비자들과 함께 답을 우리가 찾아가는 그런 생각이 중요한 것 같습니다. 제가 생각하는 가장 흔한 실수는 이제 시장 검증보다 시장 진입을 먼저 서두르는 경우인데요. 예를 들어서 미국 소비자가 아직 누구인지 그리고 우리 커뮤니티가 누구인지 충분하게 이해하지 못한 상황에서 유통사 입점만을 목표로 하시는 경우가 굉장히 많이 있어요. 근데 실제로는 소비자 인터뷰나 팝업 등을 통해서 예상과 다른 피드백을 받는 경우가 굉장히 많거든요. 프라이싱이라든지 브랜드 메시징이라든지 굉장히 다양한 피드백을 받는 경우가 많은데 저희 프로그램 같은 경우도 처음에는 이제 기존 전략을 고수하던 그런 스타트업들이 소비자 팝업 이후에 굉장히 많은 변화를 하신 모습을 봐왔습니다. 그래서 이런 과정을 거친 기업일수록 미국 시장에서 훨씬 안착하는 경우가 많아서 저는 시장 검증에 많은 시간을 쏟으시기를 추천드리겠습니다.
Whatever applies to any deep tech or tech startup applies to foreign startups. But additionally, unfortunately, that foreign startups have a couple of additional things that they need to worry about, especially if they come from non-native English speaking countries. It is very important that they master the language. A lot of people hire someone else who speaks English or somebody consultant. Not a good idea. You can hire them to learn. People want to hear from the founders, from the CEOs, from the CTOs directly, not through an intermediary. That one, and also big familiarity with US and Silicon Valley companies or the culture, understanding what people look for here is important, because oftentimes you get one chance or maximum two chances. They try to bring the same assumptions when they pitch to Silicon Valley investors or customers or things. One really needs to be very careful. Sometimes it's better just unlearn it.
Well, I think it could serve a great role by being this bridge between Korean startups and the US go-to-market. And the reason for it is that every startup, whether you're in Korea or Silicon Valley, tends to make similar mistakes or follow similar journeys. And so I think whether it's DCamp here in Korea or like Y Combinator in the United States, by working with many startups going through this, you can collect all the experience and provide a unified support.
저는 이제 스탠포드 컨슈머 프로그램을 미국 시장을 배우는 프로그램이 아니라 미국 소비자와 같이 함께 검증하는 프로그램이라고 생각을 하고 있는데요. 실제로 미국의 소비자를 만나고 현지 전문가들의 피드백을 받고 그리고 투자자, 유통 전문가들을 만나서 우리가 브랜드 전략을 같이 만들어가는 그런 프로그램입니다. 저희 프로그램 이제 오신 스타트업 분들의 피드백을 들어보면 이런 파운더 커뮤니티를 같이 만들어가는 게 정말 많은 도움이 되고 어떻게 보면 서로 이제 고민도 공유하실 수 있다고 많이 듣고 있어요. 그래서 미국 진출 준비하는 소비재 스타트업들에게 좀 더 시행착오를 줄이실 수 있게 그리고 더 빠르게 시장에 안착하실 수 있게 돕고 있습니다.
My understanding is that DCAMP is one of Korea's leading startup ecosystem enablers. So you folks are doing that. So congratulations, good job. One of my motivations and my partner's motivation is, as I said, a little selfish one, that we hope to expand our presence, Korean's startup ecosystem, by partnering with DCAMP. For me, if I can share and give some input or comments or advice to any entrepreneur anywhere in the world, and particularly in your ecosystem, and they can benefit from that, it would be very rewarding and satisfying. So I look forward to that opportunity.